Very good morning, students. Welcome back to online course on PHP. It is an add-on course, and in our previous session we have discussed many things. Because we got a lot of gap in between, so I thought of revising the stuff once again before proceeding with the new stuff. So quickly, it's better because always the videos are available on the YouTube, so it is better you can go to those videos and you can have a quick revision. I mean, what are all the concepts we discussed in our previous sessions, that you can get the clarity from there also. Nevertheless, here also I'm explaining the stuff once again for you. So we discussed, we had the introduction about this PHP. We said PHP, it is a hypertext processor, similar to your hypertext markup language. It is also an hypertext processor, but it is a server-side programming concept. Whatever we do in PHP, in order to execute that stuff, in order to run that stuff, we need a server-side application. So the advantage of having a server-side scripting, we will get the security, more security we will get. Okay, what internally what we are doing, what programming code we are writing, and what we call credentials, and or what the confidential stuff we are maintaining at this server, that will be hidden from the client applications. So if you use the server side programming, there will be more security. So why we have to go for PHP, all these things we discussed, and the characteristics of PHP also we discussed, applications of PHP, and then how we can write a PHP program, and how we can integrate our PHP program inside an HTML file, that also we have seen and we have discussed. And escaping from PHP, this is something when you encode or when you embed your PHP code inside an HTML file, how you can come out, I mean, how you can get into that code and how you can come out of that code. So what tags we have to follow, what special tags we have to follow, and how your browser application or how your server side software will consider those lines of code. Everything we have discussed. We said there are four different ways in which you can embed your PHP code inside the HTML file or inside whatever program you're writing. Okay, so the first one we said the canonical PHP tags, then short open tag style of tagging, and then ASP style of tagging, and HTML style of tagging. In that we said we are going to use the canonical PHP tags only. Okay, we are more familiar with the canonical PHP style of tagging, so we will go with the first form, that is canonical form. Okay, we discussed all four formats, but we are practicing only the first one. Okay, so then comments, how we can put the single line and multi-line comments in our PHP code, and what is the purpose of using comments inside your PHP, that also we discussed in our previous session. Then the important points which we need to remember, or which we need to keep in our mind when we are working with PHP, and that also we discussed. Then the concept of a variable, what exactly a variable in your PHP, and how the variable can be used, how a variable can be defined, initialized, and used in PHP. Everything we discussed, and with example programs I have demonstrated the concept of variables. Okay, so data types also we discussed. We said we are having like eight different data types, and among these eight we are going to use only the first four, and strings. Okay, the integer, double, boolean, and null types along with strings we will use. And arrays objects, they are the concept, they are not primitive types, rather they are derived types, they are dependent on the primitive types. And the resources, different resources we can provide in the form of a device, in the form of a file, in the form of an connection. Okay, all these things, in the form of a database also we can provide a resource to our application. So the resources concept, it is an advanced concept that we will discuss in our practice. Okay, so the integers, doubles, boolean, null, and the string types. Then we have the escape sequences. About these escape sequences also we discussed in detail. So escape sequences are nothing but the special type of characters, or the combination of characters. When used, they provide some special meaning in our PHP program. Like backslash n, it represents a new line character, and backslash r represents a carriage return, backslash t represents a vertical tab, backslash dollar simply to place the dollar, because dollar, whenever you use this dollar in your programming, what will happen? The word, or the what we call the word or the letter, whatever you are going to put after this dollar sign, it will become like a variable, isn't it? Suppose if you put like this, both these things will be considered like variables in your program. So to avoid this thing, I mean, if you want to put this dollar, if you want to print this dollar on your output screen, how come means, just you have to prefix this dollar sign with this forward slash, so that it will print the dollar sign on your output screen. Okay, same thing for double quotations. So whenever you put the double quotations in your programming, it will consider whatever proceed, whatever succeed after this double quotation, it will be considered like a string, isn't it? So like this. So in order to make this particular thing, okay, in order to make this particular thing, or in order to print this double quotation on your output screen, we have to prefix this double quotations with forward slash, so as to get the double quotation on your output screen. Same thing to print a forward slash. If you want to print a forward slash, because everything which precedes which preceded with this forward slash will be considered like a special character. But if you want to print the forward slash itself, then how come? Means simply you have to prefix a forward slash with another forward slash. So if you put two forward slashes, then you will get one forward slash on your output. Okay, like this. So all these are escape sequences. They are having some special meaning. Okay, they will not be printed directly like this, rather they will alter, they will format your output. Backslash n, backslash r, backslash t, backslash dollar, backslash double quotation, and backslash backslash. So all these things, they are having some special meaning on your output screen. Okay, then the scope of the variable, it is one of the important concept that we have to learn, that we have to study in PHP or in any programming language. Because whatever we do in a particular programming language, whatever manipulation, whatever code we write, everything we do with the help of variables only. Okay, variables plays a major role in any programming language or in program development. Okay, scope is, okay, when we are talking about the variable scope, scope is nothing but the area, or the range, okay, at which the variable is available. Okay, I mean, scope is nothing but how far a variable is available. Okay, from what point to what point in your program, when you're writing, from what point to what point a variable will be available. So this thing will be defined, and this thing will be given by the scope of the variable only. So let us assume you have a block of code. Block of code is nothing but it is a compound statement. It is a collection of statements. So like this, we are making a block of code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of code I have. And I am defining one variable over here at the first line itself, $x. This is my variable. So this $x, how far I can use? Can I use before its declaration? I mean, here I have declared $x. Can I use this $x before its declaration? Over here, can I use? Or can I use this $x after this I mean, closing parenthesis or closing flower bracket? Can I use over here? So all these things will be defined by the scope or availability of the variable. Scope is nothing but the availability of the variable. Okay, so PHP variables can have one of the following four scopes. Okay, they can be local variables, they can be function parameters, they can be global variables, and they can be static variables. Now we have to discuss how the scope is going to be affected with these four things. I mean, with these four categories. Okay, what do you mean by local variable? How far the scope? I mean, what exactly the scope of a local variable? Okay, and then function parameters. So when you are passing a variable as a parameter to a function, what will be the scope of those parameters? Then global variables. If you declare a particular variable like a global variable, then what happens with that? What is the scope? What is the availability of that particular variable? Then the static variables. So when you declare a variable as a static variable, then how the value of that variable will change? Can we modify that value only once, or the value will remain even after the destruction of the variable? I mean, what exactly will happen with that? All these things we will discuss here. So quickly, one by one. The first one, the local variables. A variable declared inside a function or inside a block of code. Okay, inside a function or inside a block of code will be considered like a local variable. Here function is nothing but whenever you write a function, the function will be preceded with the block of code only. So over here, if you are giving the function name and followed by the parenthesis, then you use the curly brackets to show or to put the body of the function. So this entire thing is the body of the function. If you declare something within this block, so this is my block of code. So here if you declare some variable within this block, the scope of this variable is limited to this block only. So because of that reason, we call this $x as a local variable, because the availability of the variable x, or the availability of a local variable, is limited to a block only, local to this block only. That's the reason the name local variable over here. Okay. uh, if you declare a variable inside a function, it can be referred, or it can be referenced, it can be accessed in that function only. Outside that function, if you try to access that same variable, the scope is violated. Okay, you will not get the access over here. $x you cannot access over here. The access is restricted because it is a local variable. You can access that variable within this block only. Okay, any assignment or any access of that function will be considered, okay, outside of that function. Okay, if you're trying to access this variable, if you try to dereference this variable outside this local body, then what will happen? It will be, you will not get the access. It is an error basically. Okay, so this is about local variables. We will have a simple program over here to demonstrate the stuff, to demonstrate about local variable. So over here, what we are doing is, uh, yes, see here, I took one variable $x. Okay, $x. The scope of this variable is throughout the program. Okay, throughout the program. But inside the function, what I am doing, I'm taking one function assign x. Function keyword will declare a function in your program. Then assign x is the function name. It is the name of the function, and it is not having any parameters. As you can see over here, the parameter list is empty. It is not having any parameters. This is the opening of the function body. Okay, it is a block. Function body is nothing but it is a block. So it is the opening of the function body. So inside that function body, we are declaring a variable with same name x. Now this x variable, it is local. It is local to this function assign x. So whatever value you are assigning to this variable x, it will remain. Okay, it will remain, I mean the value 0 will remain into this x as long as you will not see the closing of this body. Okay, closing of this body of the function. So body of the function, where we are closing, exactly over here we are closing. So what happens when you see the closing of the body? The variable x will be destroyed over here. Destroying in the sense the value 0 will be no more exist over there. Okay, or simply we can say the $x, which was declared local to this block, will be destroyed over here. And again, after this, what we are doing here, we are trying to access the x value. So here what x we will get means the outside x, this x we will get over here. Okay, this x we will get over here. So the value 4 we will get over here. Here we will get value 0, and here we will get value 4. Why means the local variable got destructed over here, and we will get the global variable value only over here. You need to understand this one. So quickly sorry, not here, this is not 0, this is 4, because the outside variable value is 4, so you will get 4 over here. So quickly we go and we demonstrate this one. So to execute a PHP program, we need to start the first we will code it. Okay, here I am coding. So how we can start the PHP code? So this thing we need to put, okay, less than symbol, question mark, and PHP. So then I'm declaring a variable $x equals to 4, same like in our program. Then what I am doing, I'm declaring a function assign x of, and it is not having any parameters, and into this I'm declaring another variable with same name. I'm assigning the value to 0. Now what I am doing, I'm echoing the value, I'm printing the value. Okay, echo or print, both you can use. Printing the value, that is $x $x value. And why I am using this escape sequence over here, because I want to print dollar on the output screen. So $x is value is, okay, $x inside function, okay, inside function. Now I am printing the value of that, okay, like this. So put the semicolon at the end, and if you want to add a new line, so simply put br, okay, like this, br tag, like this. So here we need to, okay, then what we have to do, close this function and call that function assign x. This is the calling of the assign x, okay, small x, assign x, calling of the assign x. Then one more statement, print the same x value over here, but this is where we are printing means outside the function, not inside. Okay, outside the function we are printing the value. Outside the function we are printing the value. Okay, then what we have to do, simply close the PHP, close the PHP tag, and then save the program. Go give the name, save as. Where we have to save this program, inside your C drive. Go to C drive, where exactly it is here. Go to C drive and then go to exam folder, and in it htdocs folder. Here you what we are practicing over here, we are practicing the scope, isn't it? Give the file name as scope.php, okay, scope.php, and save it. Okay, program got saved. Now how we can execute the program? Okay, what is the procedure to execute the program? You need to start the Apache and MySQL. So simply start the Apache and start MySQL. Okay, both got started. Then minimize this controller, or you just open the Apache admin. Okay, Apache admin we are opening. So this is my Apache admin dashboard we are getting. So here what we have to do, remove this dashboard, and localhost, after that my file name, that is scope.php I need to put. Hit enter. See, we got the value like $x inside function 0. Inside function we have assigned the value of $x like 0. So we are getting inside the function $x value 0. Then outside the function, the $x whatever value we assigned, 0 value, that will be destructed at this closing parenthesis. So outside that function, whatever $x value you are printing, you will get what? You will get 4. Okay, so $x inside the function the value is 0, and $x outside the function the value is 4. Hopefully you understood this one. Okay, so then the next type of variable scope, that is function parameter. So whenever you are declaring, or whenever you are using a function in your program, in your PHP code, there is a possibility that you can pass these variables as parameters to that function. Okay, then even when you are passing the variables as parameters to functions, those parameters will have the local scope only. So whatever parameters we are passing to the function, the value or the scope of those parameter will be to that block only, to that function body only. Outside that function body we cannot access the function parameters. Okay, so function parameters, they act like local variables only, but the flexibility over here, they will receive the value from the outside world. Unlike your local variables are defined and initialized within the function itself. So over here, see, I will show you that one. So let us assume we have a function with name function only. Okay, we have a function with name fun. Okay, so this is my $x, and here I'm assigning the value 4 to the $x, and now this $x, it is a local variable. $x is a local variable, so whatever value it is assigned, this 4 value, where it is assigned within the function only, we are assigning that value. We are not getting that value from anywhere outside, isn't it? Within the function only we are assigning, and this value $x will be available within this block only. Within this block, from this point to this point only, the $x will be available. Okay, so once the closing bracket, it will see the way the $x will get destroyed because it is local to this block. But when we are talking about function parameters, take same function fun. Okay, parameters in the sense $var, over here we receive it. So now when you are keeping this dollar variable over here, it is a function parameter. It is a function parameter scope. What scope it is? It is a function parameter scope. Function parameter scope. So function parameter scope, uh, when you are keeping over here a variable, and when you are calling the function, you can pass the value that is outside the function. Outside the function, you can pass the value to be assigned. So if I pass over here like 20, now what will happen? This 20, when I'm calling the function, I'm passing this 20, so this 20 will get copied into this variable. So we have the scope of assigning the value of a function parameter outside the function body. That is nothing but at the time of calling the function, you can assign the value. Okay, uh, so the declaration, when we are saying the declaration, when we are talking, it is similar to the declaration of any normal variable, but the assignment, it is receiving the value from the function call. Okay, it is receiving the value from the function call to the function uh, uh, function definition. Okay, so we need to demonstrate this also. So over here, as you can see, I'm calling a function multiply. Okay, I'm taking a function with the name multiply, and this is my function parameter. Dollar value is my function parameter. So this dollar value, am I assigning anywhere in my program, anywhere in my function body? No, I'm not assigning, as you can see. So from where I'm receiving this value means over here, you can see this 10 when I'm passing. So now what will happen? This 10 will get copied into this dollar value. Okay, so now within this function, from here to here, dollar value will become 10. The value of dollar value will become 10. So here the 10, what I am doing, 10 I am multiplying with another 10. So it dollar value will become 100 now. So that same 100 I am returning using keyword return. So this dollar value 100 will be returned from here. So where it will be stored, which is returned from here, it will be stored into this dollar uh, retrieval. Okay, retrieval. This is retrieval. Whatever function returning, that value we are storing into this dollar retrieval, and that same value we are printing on the output screen. So quickly we go and we demonstrate this thing. Function parameters. Open your Edit Plus and edit the same program. Okay. Yes, over here we have not taken any value, directly function, and we call the function name as multiply. Multiply is my function name, and the value is value we are keeping over there. Then this you remove and keep dollar value equals to dollar value multiplied with 10 or 100 you put. Okay, just to have a difference between that. Okay, now what we have to do, return. Once you have calculated the multiplication, now return the result. The result is available inside dollar value only. Okay, dollar value. Now call this multiply function, control C, call this multiply function, and receive the value into a different variable, that is retrieval, equals to multiply of, pass the value 10. So this 10 will be copied into this value, and that value will come over here. 10 multiplied with 100, you will get 1000. So after this statement, the value of value will become 1000. That 1000 we are returning over here. The same thing will come over here and will be assigned to retrieval. So over here, the result, we are printing the result. Just remove this entire thing, and result colon, that is dollar retrieval, dollar retrieval. That's it. Save this program. Okay, save it, and now go to tool. Not here, we have a different procedure to compile this program, isn't it? It is a PHP program. So go here and just refresh. Okay, expecting colon, we have done something mistake in our code. Where it is? Yeah, here we forgot to put this semicolon. Okay, we forgot to put the semicolon, that's why we got that error. So now go and yes, result equals to 1000. As you can see, we are multiplying the value of dollar value with 100. So dollar value we are passing 10, so dollar value will become 10. So that dollar value we are multiplying with 100. So after this statement, dollar value will become 1000, and that 1000 we are returning, and that will be received inside this retrieval. So retrieval will become 1000 only. Whatever the multiply method is returning, function is returning, that will be received inside this retrieval. So retrieval will become 1000, and you are printing the retrieval over here, so you will get that 1000 on the output screen. Okay, so because of that reason only we got the result value as 1000 over here. Hopefully you understood. So the next thing that we have in our discussion is the global variables. Okay, then after this, the static variable also we have. Global variable is something which will be defined at any point in your program and will become global. That means whatever value you put inside a global variable, that will be retained throughout the program. Okay, I will show you the demonstration of that variable, that program, so that you will understand. So over here, as you can see, we are creating a variable dollar some variable. Okay, some random variable, like that I have taken the name over here, some random variable, and I'm assigning the value 15 to it, 15 to that some variable. Then I'm calling a function add it. So add it, and inside this function I'm making my some variable like a global variable. So inside this function body, from here to here is my function body, and inside this body only we are making our some variable like a global variable. So what will happen, whatever value we have initialized before this function, that value will come over here as well, and it will become like a global variable. So some variable plus plus we are saying. So 15, this plus plus is nothing but post increment. Plus plus is nothing but post increment. So some variable plus plus in the sense dollar some variable equals to dollar some variable plus 1, dollar some variable plus 1. So instead of writing this big statement, we can write a shortcut notation, that is using post increment operator, that is dollar sum variable plus plus. So now dollar sum will hold. This is dollar sum variable, this is 15 plus 1, so it will hold 16 now. So when you print the value over here, here I gave the output also. Dollar sum variable is dollar sum variable, so sum variable is 16, you will receive 16 over here. So I will demonstrate. So simply what keyword we have to use in order to make our variable like a global variable means the keyword global. Okay, global means the destruction of the variable is avoided, and it will remain available throughout the program. Globally it will be available. So wherever you want to access, you can access, and you can get the value of that global variable. So simply what I have done here, I declared a variable dollar some variable, and I have initialized the value 15 to it, and inside my function, the function name we took like add it, isn't it? Add it, and here this thing is not existing, and inside the function what I made my variable like a global variable. Global, what is that? Dollar sum variable, dollar sum variable. So now my sum variable is a global variable. So after that, what I am doing, inside my addit function, I'm adding I'm performing the post increment on some variable. some variable plus plus, okay, colon, and inside this only I'm printing the value echo some variable, echo some variable colon, okay, put dollar some variable, okay, double quotation close, put the semicolon at the end and remove these two, these are not required, okay. So this is our program, okay. Now we need to call that function, isn't it? Call that function, add it off, save this program, okay. Program got saved. Now how we can do the compilation and editing and execution? Simply you have to go to the browser and you have to refresh. See here, some variable we got 16, okay. So the value of global variable is remaining. I mean, even you are entering into the new scope, or even if you are exiting from a scope, the value of global variable will be permanent, okay. So just to have a look, can we access that some variable outside the function scope? So here I am printing one more time, echo, okay, put the break, okay, then print some variable value, some variable colon dollar some variable, okay. This is a uh, we are just checking, can we access that dollar some variable outside the function scope or not? Being a global variable, I think we should access, but let's just check. See, some variable 16, second time also I'm getting the value 16. So that means we can access the global variable even outside the function body. Here, from here to here, if it is not a global variable, let us assume your dollar variable is not a global variable, it is a local variable, then what will happen? You will not have the access over here. Just remove this, okay. Just what you do, uh, yeah, in order to show you that thing, yeah, that already we discussed, right? Local variable we already discussed. So just remove this, and here you make the some variable like equals to 15, and you remove this also, okay. This also you remove. So now what will happen? As it is local variable, we should not have any access to this one. So just go and check. I think we need to get an error over there, okay. Yes, warning, undefined variable dollar sum variable. Because why it is saying undefined means because it is defined inside a function. It is defined inside a function, and this dollar sum variable, when you're trying to access outside the variable, it is not available because the scope of this dollar sum variable in this case, it is local, okay. So how we are making it as a global? Just by adding the keyword global before it, okay. Now my variable is global variable, and I can access this even outside the, okay. There is some mistake, syntax error, unexpected token equals to, so here we should not, so doing like this is not allowed, I guess. So here you made it as dollar some variable equals to 15. Hopefully it will allow me to do like this. So once again you go and you check, see, whatever steps I'm following you need to remember, because based on the type of error that I'm getting in my program, I'm editing my program, okay. So you need to remember all these things. So initialization and making a variable like global, it is not allowed in a single statement. So that's the reason I'm making my global variable, I'm making my variable type as a global variable in one particular statement, and I'm assigning the value in another statement, and I'm incrementing the value in one more statement. So finally, when I'm calling my function audit, what will happen? This dollar sum variable will become like a global variable, and the value 15 will be assigned to it, and it will be incremented. And the scope, it is not limited to this function body. I can even access my dollar sum variable outside the function body as well, because now my variable is a global variable. So I can access and I can print dollar sum variable even outside my function body. Hopefully you understood. So that's the reason, because we have executed outside the function, we got this value 16, okay. So the next thing, the final type, that is static variable. The final type of variable scoping, that is known as static. In contrast, I mean, in difference to the variables declared as a function parameter which are destroyed once the function exits, a static variable will not lose its value. Even, okay, if your variable type is a static variable, even if the function is exiting, that is nothing but even if you have executed all the statements inside your function and your function is exiting, so at that point what it has to do, it has to destroy all the local variables, isn't it? It has to destroy all the local variables. But uh, one special what we call the characteristics or special property what you get when you declare a variable like a static variable means, yes, it is a local variable. Your static variable is a local variable, but some with special property. Your local variable will be destroyed once the function exits, but your static variable, it will not be destroyed. It will retain the value as it is throughout the execution of the program. Okay, that means even if you are calling your function like more than once, whatever static variables you have inside the function body, their values will not be lose. Okay, their values will remain permanent. Okay, their values will remain permanent. And when they will be destroyed means when the program is exiting, not the function, rather program is exiting. At the time of when the program is exiting, those values will be destroyed, or those memory locations will be released. Okay, so the static variables content will be permanent and unchanged throughout the execution of the program. Okay, so I will show you how it will work. So just take the example, this one. So here what I am doing, I'm declaring one function with the name keep track. Okay, because it is keeping track of my count variable. It is keeping track of my count variable. That's the reason I made my function name keep track. So inside it, I'm declaring one variable count, and I'm making the value like 0, and I'm making this variable like a static variable. Okay, so then I'm incrementing that post increment I'm performing and incrementing the value of count by 1. So every time whenever it executes this statement, it will increment the value of count by 1. Okay, then I'm printing the value of count, and I'm printing a new line character as well. Break means a new line character on the output screen. So now what will happen when the program starts its execution, it will come over here and it will call this keep track for the first time. It will call this keep track for the first time. So when the keep track function invokes first time, then the control will jump from this arrow mark to this arrow mark. Okay, then it will come over here at this line and it will make the dollar count value as 0. Dollar count value as 0. Then we are saying count plus plus. Count plus plus we are saying. So this means what will happen? Count value will become 1. Dollar count will become 1. Okay, so then we are printing dollar count, so you will get 1 on the output screen. Then we are printing break, so you will get a new line, so the control will jump from here to the next line. So then again it will come out of the function, and the control will return to this location. So after executing this keep track for the first time, again we have the keep track function. Second time we are invoking the keep track function. So again what will happen, the control will jump from this point to the keep track function. This is the second time. Second time it will come over here and it will not reinitialize this count because it is already initialized. It is already there in your memory. So then what will happen? It will simply increment the dollar count. So what will happen? So dollar count, it will get 2 now. Dollar count equals to 2 plus 1 we are saying. Previously the value was 1, so now the value will become 2, and you are printing dollar count, so you will get 2 on the output screen. And again the new line character, and you're calling the keep track function third time, so it will come over here once again and it will print keep track value by incrementing it by 1. So this time the keep track value will become 3, so you can see the keep track value as 3 on the output screen. So quickly go and demonstrate that one over here. So what we are doing, we are calling a function with the name keep underscore track. Okay, keep track function, and my variable name, I'm making it as static. Okay, static, and my variable name I'm taking like count, and I'm initializing the value to 0. And in my next statement, I'm incrementing the count value by 1 simply by using the post increment operator, $count plus plus. Then I'm printing the $count. I'm printing my $count and I'm taking a new line character. New line character, how we can take a new line character? Simply print, okay, and print the uh, your break statement. Okay, your break statement, close the like this. Okay, now come out of the function keep track and call the keep track function multiple times. Keep underscore track of, call one more time, keep underscore track of. Okay, third time keep, and you can call any number of times. Okay, track. So always what will happen, your count value will get incremented by 1 and it will be displayed on the output screen. So as you can see, even if your control is exiting from the function, the $count value is remaining unchanged. So that's the reason every time the count value is incremented by 1 and you're seeing the updated output, you're not seeing the output from the initial point again. Okay, okay, as you can see, every time we are getting the updated output rather than getting the output from the initial point. So we are getting the count value like 1 2 3. Okay, just go to the output screen and refresh. As you can see, 1 2 3 we got. Okay, if you call one more time, you will get 4, or you will got 3 more times. Okay, control C. So 3 more times. So what will happen now? You will get up to 6. Okay, go to here, open the console, sorry, open the admin dashboard, and when it gets opened, simply change the name to, what is that, scope.php. See here, 1 2 3 4 5 6, up to 6 we got. Okay, this is something about your global variables. Okay, your global variables we discussed, sorry, not global, this is your static variables we discussed. So all 4 variable scope types, that is local variable, then the next one function parameters, the third one global variables, and the last one static variables we discussed. Okay, then we have the variable naming rules. So how we can name our variables? Can we take any random name from this universe like my variable name, or I need to follow any special rules, any special conditions, or any special restrictions when I am framing my variable name? Variable names are nothing but our identifiers, because variable names are helpful in identifying them, isn't it? In identifying a particular variable, we are making use of the variable name. So variable name is nothing but variable names are helpful in identifying the variable. So rules for framing the variables. Okay, rules for naming the variables. So variable names, they must always begin with a letter or an underscore. You cannot take the digit or special character, any other special character at the beginning of the variable name. So always you have to start the variable name with either an underscore or with a letter. Letter means your A to capital Z or small a to small z. You have to start, the first letter should be any of these things. You cannot take any other letter from other than this what I mentioned over here. Either the underscore, capital A to capital Z, small a to small z, you can use as the first letter. Okay, and what can you put inside a variable name? In the sense, you can put the you can put these characters, you can put underscore, you can put capital A to capital Z and small a to small z, and you can even put the numbers 0 to 9 also you can put within your variable name. First letter, it can't be a number, but between the variable name you can keep the numbers as well. Okay, and no special character other than underscore is allowed. So other than underscore, in the sense, we have a lot of special characters on your keyboard, like we have plus, minus, modulo division, sign, and angular brackets, parenthesis we have, curly brackets we have, ampersand symbol we have, many different special symbols we have when we are naming a variable. But those special symbols are not allowed. Only the underscore symbol is allowed, and at the first place you can use either the underscore or the letters. You cannot use even the numbers as the first character. Hopefully you understood. So the last rule, there is no size limit for the variable. You can take the variable length of any characters, any number of characters. There is no size restriction in PHP. But in your C we have the restriction over there. It can be up to 64 characters we said, isn't it? But over here there is no restriction. You can take the variable name of any length, okay, practically of any length. Okay, then the constants, we need to discuss the next concept in your PHP, that is constants. And a constant is nothing but it is an identifier or it is a name given to a constant value or given to a simple value. So now maybe you will get a doubt. We are giving a name to a variable as well as we are giving a name to an identifier. In place of a value which we want, we are using the variable name, and in place of a value where we want, we are using a constant name. So what is the difference between a variable and a constant in our programming? The answer is very simple. A variable may vary. You can change the value of a variable once defined, but a constant, it is unchanged. Once defined, a constant is unchanged. You cannot change the value of a constant. It is not possible at all. Okay, so all constants, they are case sensitive. Okay, but it is better to use all constants in uppercase just to differentiate between a regular variable and a constant. It is always better to use constant in upper cases. Okay, is it a strict rule? In the sense, it is not a strict rule. It is just a programming practice. Taking a constant name in uppercase, it is just a programming practice. Even if you take the constant name in small letters, nothing will happen. You will get the output. But just to have an understanding between the parties, okay, because it is a programming practice that we have to take the constant name in uppercase letters only, so that any third person or any other person who is checking your code or who is analyzing your code, he can easily understand that whatever name you have, whatever identifier you have taken, it is not a regular variable, rather than it is a constant. If you put all capital letters, one can easily understand it as a constant. Only that reason. Apart from that, there is no reason. Your compiler will not give any errors and you will get the output as well without any errors. Okay. Always it is better to start the variable name, I mean a constant name, with an underscore followed by any number of letters, numbers or underscores. So it is also another programming practice. It is better to start all the constants with an underscore symbol. To define a constant, you have to use the define function. It is a predefined function. It is a special type of predefined function which is used to define the constants in our program. Okay, this constant, this define function, it will take two parameters. One, the name of the constant, and the other one, the value of the constant. So simply what it will do, it will create a constant with that name and with this value, like that. Okay, hopefully you understood. So let us say if I'm defining the pi value as a constant, okay, then what I have to do, I have to use the define function. Define, give the name like pi, and put the value 3.14 something, isn't it, like this. Now what will happen, this pi will act like a constant in my program, and once defined, you cannot change the value of this pi. It is fixed. Okay, so unlike with variables, you do not need to have a constant with a dollar. So as just now I have shown you, we are not giving any dollar sign over there, dollar symbol over there before that name pi. I'm just passing that pi as a normal variable only. Okay, so just you need to put that pi in double quotations because it is a string. Put that value in double quotations. That's it. Okay, and in order to retrieve, in order to get the value of a constant, we use a function, a special function, constant. Is it always necessary to use this constant function in order to retrieve the value? Means no. You can even get the value of a constant like a regular variable also. Simply put the dollar sign before that constant name and you can retrieve the value. Like a variable, you can retrieve the value of a constant as well. But if you want to access a constant like a regular routine thing, then definitely you have to go for constant function. Okay, all these things we will practice. Once we practice, you will understand. So quickly, constant function, as I just told you, in order to retrieve the value, we can use this constant function. Okay, so echoing a normal constant value, you can use the normal constant name just like any other variable, or you can even use the constant function for echoing the constant value, or for using the constant value. So both the things we will practice in our PHP code. So yes, what we have to do, just start the program and create a constant. How we can create the constant? Define, okay, define of, give the name pi, and give the value 3.14 something, 147 something like this. Close it, put the semicolon at the end, and hit the enter key. Now echo the value, echo the value pi, okay, or echo the value using constant of, okay, pi, like this. So both will give the same value. So we will see whether it is printing on the same line or it is going to the next line. As you can see, it is printing on the same line. So what we have to do, take a break over here, br, so just to have the value on a separate line. Save it. Now uh, go to your compiler again. Nothing to do over there. Over here, command refresh. Okay, fatal error on card break pi. Okay, being a constant value, as we are not suffixing, we are not prefixing the dollar symbol over here, so it is giving issue over here. So it's better to print this br in a separate statement. Minimize this and remove this and keep it like a separate statement. Echo of, put this thing and close this thing, semicolon. Yes, this constant is a function, right? That's the reason we didn't get the value. We got that error. So now you can see 3.14, 3.14, two separate lines we are getting. Hopefully you understood. So this is about the constants in our PHP. So using default to define the constants and using constant function to retrieve the value of a constant. Then the difference between constant and a variable, there is nothing to discuss about it. Only the first difference, the dollar sign. When you are defining a variable, you must have to prefix the variable name with a dollar, but when you are defining or when you are creating a constant, no need of this dollar. Okay, constant cannot be defined by simple assignment. Okay, they must be defined using the define function. Okay, constants, when we are defining in our program, we are defining with the help of define function, and we are initializing the value also using define function. Okay, for your variables, all these things are not required. Simply you suffix the variable name with dollar sign and assign the value. That's it. Okay, simple way of creating the variable, this one. But to create a constant, what we have to do, we have to use the define function. Define of, okay, give the constant name and then pass the value as well. So like this we are defining a constant, and this is we are creating a variable. Okay, uh, yes, constants, they can be defined and they can be used anywhere in your program, any location in your program, without bothering about your what we call that rules. Okay, scoping rules, variable scoping rules. Oh, and once, yeah, this is the most important property for a constant, and this is the most important difference between a constant and a variable. The constants cannot be changed, but whereas a variable, they can be changed, they can be redefined, they can, whatever you want you can do. Okay, then there are some magic constants, okay, in your PHP. Those magic constants are nothing but they have some special keyword kind of thing, which when used in your program, they will give some special meaning. Okay, and the list of those magic constants we have like 5. Okay, so line underscore underscore line, what it will do, it will print the name of number of your line. Okay, simply instead of taking all these things discussion, all this discussion, I will show you with the help of a program. Okay, just go to your edit plus, and first thing what I am doing, I am echoing echo underscore underscore line. Okay, put the semicolon at the end. So here, as you can see, the line number is 2. We will see what it will print on the output screen. 2. Okay, so what is this 2? It is the line number. It is the line number. It is printing the line number. So underscore underscore, here two underscores we have, underscore underscore line. It is a magic constant which will print the line number. So suppose if I take like this, we'll see what it will do. Okay, it is printing the line number as 7 because it is in line number 7. The constant or the magic constant in which line you are using, or in which line you are invoking that one, in which line you are keeping that one, it will simply give that line number over there. Okay, you can even perform the arithmetic operations with that. So suppose a line plus 4, so 7 plus 4, it should print 11 like this. Okay, you can even perform all the operations with that one. Okay, suppose if I do the multiplication, 7 fours, 7th line multiplied with 4, it is 28. 28 you got. So like this. So the next magic constant is the file. Okay, it will the full path of the file, okay, in which it is residing. So here my file name is scope.php. So we will see what it will print. Okay, so just go here, and here you print the file underscore underscore file underscore underscore. It is a magic constant which will print the full path of my file. So exactly under which folder this scope.php is there, maybe it will print that one, or we will see what error we will get. See, inside C drive, inside exam folder, inside htdocs, we have scope.php. So it is printing the full path of my file. So dollar, sorry, not magic constant, not dollar, magic constant line is printing the line number. Magic constant file is giving the full path of my file. Okay, line number it is printing, and it is giving the full path of my file location. Okay, hope you understood this one. Save it. Now come over here and refresh to and file path name. So then the next thing what we have, the function name, where exactly we are using. So far we don't have any function, so let's just see what it will give if it is not having any function, and what it will give if you put that thing inside user defined function. Okay, under function, under. Okay, so yes, just come over here, save it. Program got saved. Now run it. Yeah, it is not printing anything basically. So if I put this thing into a function, function with some name like call it, I'm not giving any name, just I'm calling my function name, call it, and inside this function I'm doing that one, then I'm calling my function call it. So now we will see what it will give. Let's go here, see, call it. So we kept that function magic constant inside call it function. My function name is call it, so it is giving the call it function name. Okay, if you keep it outside of all the functions, it will not print anything. So to see the working of that function magic constant, you need to put it inside a function body. So same thing for the rest of the things, because to know this class, when you have this class, I need to use a class in my program, and it is too early to start the concept of classes in my programming. Okay, class I'm not dealing with. Then method, it is a function inside a class. Method is nothing but function inside a class. This is also too early to deal with. Okay, So these two things, I will show you what they will give if I directly put in my program. But rather, to understand it fully, it is recommended to wait for the discussion of classes and the discussion of methods. So simply I will echo, that is class, and then echo HOD method. Okay, magic constants we are discussing. Just go and refresh. Yes, it is not printing anything, it is just giving spaces, as you can see. Okay, it is not printing the class name and it is not printing the method name because we have not used any class or any method in our program. We simply used the line in a particular line. If you put the underscore underscore line underscore underscore magic constant, it will give the line number. And if you put the file magic constant, it will give the full path of your file. And if you put the function magic constant, and that too you need to use the function magic constant within a function, because the function is familiar to you. So I used a user defined function in my program, and I kept that magic constant function within that user defined function. So when I'm calling that user defined function, the function magic constant will give the function name to me. So that also I have shown to you. But when it comes to class and method magic constants, as we have not discussed the concept of classes and concept of methods, it is too early to discuss about them. So I'm just leaving them. So for the future discussion, in our future classes, when we discuss the classes and methods concept over there, we will discuss about these class and method magic constants. Hopefully you understood these things in our discussion. So the next thing, the operators, PHP operators we have. About these operators we will discuss in our next session, inshallah. It will be on Tuesday, because I thought of posting two of my add-on course classes on Saturday and Sunday, but yesterday, because of some work, the lecture got delayed. No issues. That I will compensate on Tuesday, because Tuesday I don't have any um, PPS class. So on that day I will post this PHP add-on course class. So students, just do the practice as much as possible. Utilize this time, because very soon we are expecting that everything will resume. So you need to be ready with a lot of knowledge, because whatever upcoming concepts we are going to discuss in our classrooms, they are advanced concepts. There is no reconsideration of what we already taught. Okay, I'm not going to discuss those concepts once again in our classrooms, because they will not give that much of time to discuss. Okay, they will ask us to wind up the syllabus as early as possible, because if we start from the beginning again, it will take another semester. Already we are considering it as half of the semester, because we are about to conduct your first mid exams, and we are considering it as half of the semester. So don't waste your time, and whenever you get some free time, watch the videos, watch some extra videos, try to grasp some extra knowledge, do the research, do some searching on the internet, and refer multiple books, refer multiple concepts, multiple articles on the net, to get the knowledge, as much knowledge as possible. If you're not getting anything, simply write it down, note it down, and you can ask me, you can post me on WhatsApp, you can ask me in the doubt clarification session. I'm ready to help you in all aspects, in all means, whether it is virtual, physical. You can even come to the college if you have some doubts. In any means, I'm ready to help you. Okay, thank you very much, students.